So I came down to Bridewell after I thought that the protest was over. Came down to Bridewell, and when I arrived at Bridewell, they had two lines of police in front of the police station. It soon became apparent that things were turning. There was a different feel, a different atmosphere. Things were happening that I hadn't seen happening with my own eyes before. There were projectiles that were being thrown from above, and you could see the police reacting to this by introducing more officers and then introducing animals, horses and dogs as well. It was on Bridewell Street itself where a police van was set on fire. Early the next morning I saw again lines of police, and they were being confronted by protesters with what I now know is Harris fencing, when they holding the fence and pushing it against the police. And this is against a backdrop of a burning police van. So over the course of one day, you saw a typical protest marching around the city go to a congregation of people outside the police station, and then almost before you realised, we had a significant riot on our hands. I was doing a lot of video recording at the time, and so looking back on this contemporaneous footage that I was shooting, what was interesting was that the footage showed, like I said to you before, bottles, objects, other projectiles being thrown at the police. That to me looked like it was the powder keg. It was the throwing of objects. There was one stage when I had to rush back home to recharge my phone, and when I returned, that was when the police van was on fire. So these things happened really, really quickly. It was a situation that was out of a film. It was something that I'd never expected to witness with my own eyes in my own city. I just felt it my job as a journalist there, just to try and witness as much of this as I could, to be safely as close to proceedings as possible. Where we're sitting right now, the second night of what turned into violence. Behind me, a lot of the travelling community had put their tents up, and the police came after warnings that they were going to do this. They quite forcibly removed people off College Green. They ended up sat on the road, on St George's Road, really near the 3 Tons, if you can picture Bristol, so almost outside the 3 Tons pub. They were just sitting there, singing, lying down at times, until the police got fed up, it seemed to me. When you see a police horse coming towards you, you make sure that you turn away and run, which is what I did. And so I was just watching the last of the protesters being cleared. I was just by Jacobs Wells Road roundabout, playing this back in my mind. I must have turned around, and at that moment I felt 2 arms on either side of me, and these were 2 police officers in full riot gear, helmets and everything. And the first thing I said was, "Guys, I'm a journalist. I'm reporting on this." I don't actually think it makes much difference whether I was a member of the public or an NUJ carrying member of the press. I got jumped on by 2 police officers in riot gear as I was just walking with my back turned, walking back home. That's not acceptable. Protests will continue to happen. The Kill the Bill protest, it happened at such a moment in our recent history when protests themselves weren't allowed. It hit a moment, such a moment, and I don't think that, fingers crossed, we're not going to see a moment like that again.